In the long history of Israel, one question has puzzled many readers of the Bible. Why is there no tribe named after Joseph? He was Jacob's most beloved son, the one who saved his entire family from starvation, the man who rose from slavery to become the governor of Egypt. It almost seems unfair that his name does not appear among the 12 tribes of Israel. But the truth is far more powerful. Joseph was not forgotten. In fact, he received an honor greater than any of his brothers. To understand this mystery, we must go back to the beginning of his story. Joseph was the 11th son of Jacob, but he was the first son born to Rachel, the wife Jacob loved most. Because of this, Jacob showed him special favor. He even gave Joseph a beautiful, richly colored robe, a symbol that he held a unique place in his father's heart. But that gift came at a cost. Joseph's brothers grew deeply jealous. Their envy turned into hatred. And when Joseph began sharing his dreams in which his brothers bowed before him, their anger reached a breaking point. One day, when Joseph came to visit them in the fields, they seized him. They stripped him of his robe. They threw him into a dry pit. At first, they planned to kill him, but instead, they chose something crueler. They sold him as a slave to traveling merchants heading to Egypt. To hide their crime, they dipped his robe in animal blood and told their father that a wild beast had devoured him. Jacob was devastated. He believed his beloved son was dead. But what Joseph's brothers meant for evil, God was already using for a greater purpose. In Egypt, Joseph was sold to a powerful official named Potiphar. Though he was a slave, Joseph worked faithfully, and God blessed everything he did. Soon he rose to become the overseer of the entire household. But once again, injustice struck. Potiphar's wife falsely accused him, and Joseph was thrown into prison. Years passed, yet even there, God did not abandon him. Joseph gained a reputation for accurately interpreting dreams. Then one night, Pharaoh himself was troubled by terrifying visions. He dreamed of 7 healthy cows devoured by 7 thin cows. He dreamed of full grain stalks swallowed by withered ones. No one could explain the meaning, but Joseph could. He revealed that Egypt would experience 7 years of abundance, followed by 7 years of devastating famine. Pharaoh recognized God's wisdom in Joseph. At just 30 years old, Joseph was appointed governor of Egypt, second only to Pharaoh himself. During the years of plenty, Joseph stored vast amounts of grain, and when famine struck, Egypt was prepared. Soon people from many lands came seeking food. Among them, Joseph's own brothers. They bowed before him just as his childhood dream had foretold. At first, they did not recognize him. Joseph tested their hearts. He wanted to know if they had changed. And when he saw their remorse, he revealed himself. There were tears, there was shock, and there was forgiveness. Joseph embraced them, saying, "You meant evil against me, but God meant it for good." The family was reunited. Jacob came to Egypt, and they settled in the land of Goshen. There, Joseph built a new life. He married an Egyptian woman named Asenath and had 2 sons. He named the first Manasseh, meaning, "God has made me forget my suffering." He named the second Ephraim, meaning, "God has made me fruitful in the land of my affliction." Years later, when Jacob sensed his death was near, he called Joseph to him, and what he did next was extraordinary. He formally adopted Joseph's 2 sons as his own. He declared, "Ephraim and Manasseh shall be mine, just like Reuben and Simeon." With this act, Joseph received something no other son received: a double inheritance. In ancient culture, the firstborn son was entitled to a double portion. Reuben had lost that right because of his sin, and it was transferred to Joseph. That is why Joseph does not have just one tribe. He has 2. But there was one more surprising moment. When Jacob blessed the boys, Joseph positioned them carefully. Manasseh, the older, stood at Jacob's right hand. Ephraim, the younger, stood at his left. But Jacob crossed his hands. He placed his right hand, the hand of greater blessing, upon Ephraim. Joseph tried to correct him, but Jacob said, I know what I am doing. And history proved him right. Ephraim became one of the most powerful tribes in Israel, so influential that its name later represented the entire northern kingdom. Meanwhile, the number of tribes remained 12 because the tribe of Levi was set apart for priestly service and received no land inheritance. So Joseph's name may not appear on a tribal banner, but his legacy is greater than all. 2 tribes, 2 inheritances, a double portion. His story reminds us of a powerful truth. God often works in ways we do not expect. He raises the rejected. He blesses the overlooked. He turns suffering into purpose. Joseph was betrayed, enslaved, and imprisoned. Yet every hardship was part of the path that led him to save his family and preserve a nation. In the end, nothing was wasted. Not his pain, not his tears, not even his years of waiting. And that is why Joseph does not have one tribe. He has 2, a legacy that proves God's plans are always greater than human understanding. And perhaps that is the greatest lesson of all, that even in our darkest moments, God is still writing a story of redemption.